What's up, everybody? This is Stuart Knight, author of the books Marginalizing White Supremacy, Poetic Visions, A Steep Mister for a Sister, and A Spirit the World Has Forgotten. How's everybody doing today? Nice sunny day out here in Omaha, NE. And what I want to talk about is these phenomenons or social ideals considering what is called SYSBM, or Save Yourself Black Men. And the other concept of passport brothers, or as I would like to call it, non-black passport mating, actually. And also divestors too, which is the feminine aspect of it. The other two were more or less black men, one sect, the passport brothers, traveling abroad in search of more feminine women. And SYSBM is similarly based around like a concept of separating yourself as a black man from the black community and living more of a hedonistic lifestyle, or going out in search of the things that you want and doing the things that you want to do to procure happiness in this world. And that means, in a sense, I believe, I could be wrong, but it means that separating yourself from the duty, it would seem that, some give off the impression that black men have to save the black community. Now, I put forth this, and I was thinking about this the other day. I was thinking that the black men of America, the children of chattel slavery, members of that group of people who had the entirety of their culture, language, and spiritual connection to the greater forces severed by systematic white supremacy. I was thinking that we were the only sect of men who had faced the wrath of white supremacy and the white man in particular, and have not regained control of our cultural heritage. Throughout history, we are the only group of men who have not done that. The Asian man has done it. The Japanese man has done it. The Arabic man has done it. The Jewish man has done it to a degree, if you want to consider them like a non-white people. And the only other ones beside that is probably the Indians. The Indians have done it, the Aryan Indians. But the natives of, the Northern America, they haven't done it. So maybe we're not the only sect of men that have, well, in a sense they did through treaties and stuff. So, their people are still suffering too. But for the most part, they still gained and maintained some of their cultural heritage. But black American men haven't. African men, for the most part, haven't either. They haven't broken the shackles of colonialism. And that's a problem. Because the role of white supremacy was to make being black so untasteful that you would actually reject and leave your own self. Which you see many of our men and people in general, especially women too, doing in forming these concepts like SYSBM, passport bros, or divestors. The central line issue between all three is leaving your own blackness. Now, as I said, like in Africa, there might also be some sort of a social ideal that's going on, especially like with cake soap and the presentation of white Jesus. It's separating black people from their own selves. But the thing is that's part of the mantra or the credo that white supremacy actually lives by was to completely eliminate the African phenotype, being black skin, from the planet, simply for their own pleasure. And it is done through many ways, not only through outright genocidal violence, but it can also be done through collusion. Maybe not collusion. Yeah, well, collusion as far as integration or assimilation is concerned. You wanna place yourself within the what is considered mainstream or the acceptable cultures in practice, so as to not find yourself ostracized, by the masses of the populace, by the masses of people. And when it comes to black people, that's a problem, because if we allow that to happen, we then in turn make white people gods, because they fandangled you, or they bamboozled you into rejecting your own very self in the image in which God made you. Now some will say that all the black man can date outside his race, and and impregnate a white woman or a Latino woman, and that baby's still going to be black. Well, I posit that that's not totally true, because in the end, for all anticipated purposes, you go into that situation running from your very own self, only to try to maintain a cultural dynamic that is acceptable to the white dominant population. You're going to see their worldview as the absolute and total view. So in essence, even the children that you produce outside of your race or with a non-black person, they're liable to be culturally influenced by white supremacy. Thus, chances are that they too will grow up and, maybe mate with somebody who's more closer to white. And there you are, you're eliminated. You're eliminated and gone from your original black skin, which in turn, as I said, the institution of systematic white supremacy desires, because, to them, black skin is distasteful, and they don't mind that anyway, I understand, Dr. Francis Cress Welsing says, that they scared of genetic annihilation, and yeah, that is true to a degree, but if they can absorb you culturally to where you see their worldview as the omnipotent one, then their immediate whiteness or skin tone at that time being eliminated, it's not a problem, because eventually they know that it will come back, because your half-black offspring more than likely will gravitate toward a white supremacist idealistic view of the world, and in turn abandon themselves and forget about you. But my main point was, as I started out in the beginning, we as black men, we're the only men, in the world who have not taken the reins in redeveloping our culture and our own worldview and perspective after being transgressed upon and brutalized and oppressed by white supremacy. And, to actually, engage in activities and lifestyles and choices that will actually help, maintain the dominion of white supremacy should be taken as, how should I say it? Should be taken as actually an act of cowardice. It really should be. I understand you have the choice to do whatever you wish, and, you don't have to be judged for it. And I'm not judging you, because I understand. But, it's something to think about, especially if you, truly want to leave a legacy in this world as a black man. That doesn't mean, you can't travel abroad and, and get you a black woman, as many of them say. But if you, if you're trying to leave alone American black women, chances are less likely that you're actually going to go to a black woman of another culture and reproduce your own image. That's the main thing. Reproducing your own image. Ain't nothing more beautiful than that. And that's only done with somebody who's just as black as you believe that. But, the main thing is to, as a black man, try to redevelop ourselves as men, so as to define the culture, retain the culture, produce a new culture, so that we do what we can for our people.